United States, as the world knows, will never start a war. We do not want a war. We do not now expect a war. This generation of Americans has already had enough, more than enough, of war and hate and oppression.
Kennedy was a great man. He tried to get rid of the Federal Reserve, and he tried to get rid of the CIA. Maybe he tried too much. Anyway, he got lead poisoning. My grandmother, born in 1888, was always telling me as a kid how great it was when she was alive. Part of it I didn't believe, because they didn't have TV back then, didn't even have radio till she was about 25 years old. And on the list of things that she didn't have that we had when I was a kid. And I just didn't understand her thoughts. But now that I'm getting awful close to 60, I look back and I start telling the kids about the good old days when I was a kid. For example, my mother worked part-time at a courthouse. She was secretary there at a welfare department, and helped the farm stay on above water. And they were a big-bellied cop, perfect example of a big-bellied cop. And in the early 1960s, I went a couple of times with her and visited with him. We'd go in the sheriff's office, he was in there. Always a pleasant guy to talk to as far as that goes, to kids. And I asked him, being a stupid kid, "Where's your gun?" Because I knew our town cop, the town we lived in, didn't have he didn't carry a gun. In fact, he never gave anybody a ticket in the 9 years that we were there. Be that as it may, that old big-bellied cop, he reached down and he pulled from under his shirt a .22 Magnum double-barrel pistol. .22 Magnum double-barrel pistol. And it didn't have hammers on it, so he could just go bang-bang. The trigger was a double-action set in that thing. And about 1.5 inch barrel. Now, I'm here to tell you, that old critter could fire and put out some firepower for sure and for certain at close range. He said out to about 50 yards, he said, I could shoot just about as accurate as a man with a revolver. He said, I got 2 shots, and he said, I doubt if I'd have time to shoot a third one if I needed it. He felt more than confident with that little gun. But I asked him why he just had that Derringer. And he said, if you pack a gun, he said, you can't be nobody's friend. If you pack a gun, you can't be nobody's friend. If they see that gun out in the open, they got to have just the slightest bit of fear about you. And he said it's kind of like the sheepdogs. They can't have just a dark-colored dog guarding the sheep. Why? Well, the sheep think it's a wolf. He said it's the same way with a cop, a gun-packing cop. A lot of the people still look at him as a possible bad man, one way or another, somehow or another. And so he always kept his gun concealed. I saw the man in action only one time in my life. We was at the Chase County Fair up there at Imperial, and a drunk got belligerent, mouthy, and naughty words. So that old cop, we just walked up to him and put his hand on him from behind. That old guy swung around like he was going to fight somebody. And as soon as that guy saw who it was, he just melted. His eyes looked like a deer in the headlights type look. And boy, he shrunk down. That old guy said, let's go. And he just walked him off. He didn't fight or have to, wrestle him to the ground. He didn't have to shoot him with tasers. He didn't need 20 cops backing him up. Just that one cop. Just that one cop, and it was done. Just that easy. And don't tell me it can't be done today. Don't tell me it can't be done today. Those were the good old days, and I got 1,000 more stories just like that. That the law enforcement needs to understand that they've went too far. They've went too far. They killed Kennedy for trying to change things. I just wish the law enforcement would have enough courage to risk their lives to change things back to the way they were. This is McCook's Mr. Bill. Rate this film.